So in order to keep motivation, you can do some things. And I'm going to tell you exactly what those things are. But first of all, my name's Robbo. This channel is called Robbo Lives. If you are new around here, please make sure to smash the subscribe button and like the video, and let's get into it. The first thing that I want you to do is to get rid of the word motivation, or at least to realise that motivation is fleeting. It's going to come in spurts in your life. It's never necessarily going to change. Get rid of that word motivation, okay? And start relying on discipline. In order to build discipline and to keep motivation, because motivation is always going to come back. Realise that. The motivation is always going to come back. And you'll actually find in life that when you do something that's difficult that you didn't want to do, you get motivation from doing that thing. For example, if before a gym session I'm thinking, oh, I'm tired today, I don't really feel like going to this gym session, but I go to that gym session, I get my blood pumping, the endorphins flowing, and after that gym session I feel incredible. And that's when the motivation comes, because I think, yes, I've ticked off that win, let's go and get another win. What's next on the agenda? How can I tick off more wins and keep this momentum going? And it's all about momentum in order to get motivation and discipline. So in order to keep motivation, you can do some things, and I'm going to tell you exactly what those things are. Tick off small wins. This can be as simple as getting out of bed on time, eating a healthy breakfast, getting some sunlight in the morning, stretching in the morning. Anything that's going to make you feel better. It doesn't have to be these kind of lifestyle things, although I do think if you've done all of those things, you would feel better in yourself. But you have to tick off small little wins. You think, yes, tick, win. All right, what can I do next? What's next on the agenda that I can do? Okay, I'm going to go to the gym now. Yes, went to the gym. Right, that's another win. Okay, so all of these wins accumulate, and eventually you keep getting the wins. You keep going up. You keep getting better, and that's ultimately how you're going to keep yourself motivated. The thing that you have to realise is you need to think from your future. So you need to think, if I do said thing and if I remain consistent at said thing, how good can I be? How great can I be? How far can I actually take it if I remain consistent at this? If I just stay in the gym, if I just stay eating healthy, if I just stick to my runs, if I just stick to practicing guitar, practicing that language, how good can I be? Okay? How good can you be? And think from your future self that how grateful you'll be for the person that you were and the person that went through all of that struggle in order to get to the version that you want to be. So you have to think from that person. And what would your ultimate self do? If you can imagine yourself as your ultimate self, however you imagine yourself to be, what is that ultimate version of yourself like? What do they look like? What do they eat like? What do they train like? What's their daily routine? Think of all these things and get that in your head and think from that future whenever you're going to make a bad decision. For example, if it is craving sugar, okay, you think, I'm really craving sugar right now, but if I ate something that's healthy, I'm going to feel better from that. And you eat something healthy, bang, that's a win. And that's how you remain consistent with it, okay? That's how you get the consistency. Just tick off small wins and remain consistent at ticking off the small wins, and all of those things add up into big wins. Zoom out, okay, for a second. Zoom out and think from day. Say one day, okay, you get a week, it's 7 days. So all you got to do is each day, tick off the days, tick off the days, tick off the days. Then you got a week. You think, I've done a week now. I've done this for a week. That went quick. Okay, let's see if I can do a week in a day. Do another day, do another day, do another day. 2 weeks have passed. Okay, then you're almost at a month, all right, and then 6 weeks, and it's being consistent over that long period of time which you're going to see the most change. With that in mind, thinking from your future and the best version of yourself, this is what I do to stay motivated. I not only don't want to let my future self down, so I don't want to look back and think, like I've just gone off the rails again, okay? And it's okay sometimes to go off the rails if something happens, but you have to learn from those mistakes and get back on the rail and think from your future self. So, for example, in my situation, I think I don't want to let my future self down. I don't want to let my woman down. I don't want to be in a position in my future where I can't provide for us. I don't want to be in a position where we need money. An example of this, at the start of the year, my little darling dog, Petulia, she had to have her spleen removed, and I was put on the spot, and I had to either pay $2,500 for an operation to have her spleen removed for her to live, or she would die because it had burst. So it was either she was going to die or live, and it was up to me to have $2,500 to just be able to put that down and save her life. And I had $2,500. Luckily, I had the $2,500, and I was able to do that. I now think in my head, what if something like that happens again? What if in the future, Petulia or my other dog, Wee Man, they need life-saving operation? What if I need something? What if a woman needs something? What if my future kids, they need something? And all it would have taken was for me to be consistent in my lifestyle, my job, whatever I want to do, all right? That would have been the difference and the catalyst that could have helped me save those people. And I get that in my head. And you might be thinking, Robson, you're a bit crazy. Do you know what I mean? But you have to have that mindset, and that's how I stay motivated. And also think, let's scale it down, how annoyed I'd be at myself if I let myself go, if I let myself go back to my old habits. Because whenever I do an old habit now, sometimes habits are really difficult to get rid of, and if you go back to an old habit, you think, now I do one, I'm like, this isn't good. I don't feel good doing this. Everyone has vices. Everyone has old habits. They need to break rid of those habits. And when you get over those habits, that's where the consistency comes from. Again, it's ticking off those small wins that are going to equate into bigger wins. Another reason for how I stay consistent is I know the bad path in my life. We've all walked the bad path. For me, for example, I know the path and the version of me where I've drank, I've partied, I've smoked, I've ate like crap. I know where that version of me goes. And it just circles back to me being unhappy. And I go around in this cycle of looking at myself in the mirror and I think, I really wish I had this, I wish I had that. And you have to get yourself in a position where you're fed up and sick and tired of going around in this continuous loop. But until you realise that and get sick of the version of yourself that goes down this path, then you're never ever going to be consistent with it. So you have to accept that about yourself. You have to really, really hate the position that you're in. And you think, I'm done with this now. I know this path. And you have to realise that. Because so many people just repeat the same old mistakes, the same old habits. You need to realise where that's going to take you. You know where it's going to take you. If you're eating crap, you're eating junk, you're partying all the time. Is that going to get you to be the best version of yourself? No. Alright? It's not going to get you to that. So if you really, really, truly want to be that best version of yourself, then you have to think from that best version of yourself. How do they think? Get yourself in that mindset. With that in mind, that you know the bad path, think about the good path, okay? How far and how good, how great could you be if you just stuck on that path? Because everyone's been to a point when they've started something, when they've been motivated, okay, and they've been consistent with something for, say, 4-5 weeks, all right? Most people have been consistent for that period of time. Then they've gone off the rails, gone back to where they are. So imagine if you just stayed like that for 3 months. 4, 5, 6 months, a year. How good would you have been if you'd just stuck? How good could you be if you were just stuck at that thing for a year? Get yourself in that mindset. Because if you think back a year just went so quick, didn't it? A year goes so quick. When you're looking ahead, it seems far. But when you look back, it doesn't seem far at all. So you have to get in your head, right, just a year. What if I just dedicate myself to be the best I could be for a year and just get rid of all these bad habits, the things that make me feel like crap? How good could I be? Get that in your head. And when you do that, motivation comes from that. You think about yourself, you tick wins off, you think, yes, come on. I think this all the time, right? I'm always like, come on, Robbo. I egg myself on all of the time. People might think I'm crazy for it, but that's how I get myself going. And you'll see in life that the top performers do this. They get themselves egged up. Come on, let's go. And whenever I do something that's good, whether a cold shower, go to the gym, I eat healthy, I'm, yes, Robbo, come on, I'm proud of myself. You've got to have that love for yourself. Think from your future self. Okay, super, super important. With all of this in mind, the points that I've told you so far, you need to have vision, okay? Super, super important. Have a vision of who you want to become in your life and where you want your life to go. Because if you don't know, then you're never going to be able to get there. Your mind and your subconscious is never ever going to be able to navigate in your life in order to get to where you want to be in life. So you need to have that. Sit down with a pen and paper and work that out. And your vision can change and it can angle, but you need to know it, okay? So your mind can aim towards it. So with your vision, where do you want your life to go? Who do you want to be? What version of you will make you happy? What type of person do you want to be? Where do you want to live? Where do you want to end up in your life, okay? And use that as motivation, okay? Use that vision as motivation to pull you on, to spur you on, to become your best version of yourself. And use that motivation to be consistent with it all. That's where the motivation comes from. That's where consistency comes from. You think from that vision and you allow that vision to pull you. Imagine the North Star, right? The North Star, boom, in the sky, and that is pulling you towards where you want to go. You're aligned with who you are, with your purpose, and you're going towards that, okay? Have that in your head. And then whenever you think of something which is going to deviate you from that path, think, no, that's my vision. Is me eating crap today going to allow me to get towards my dream goal, my dream body? No, it's not. Is doing X, Y, and Z going to allow me to get to where I want to be in the future? No, it's not. So then you learn to choose to not do those things. Accept reality. You, me, everyone and every living thing on this planet will one day die. We can't change that. So you've only got a finite amount of time that you're actually here. So with that time, you need to do what you want to do. If you want to be the best and you want to have the best life for yourself and you don't want to get to your deathbed and think, what would have happened if I'd have done that? What would have happened if I'd have just been consistent? If I'd have just had the motivation to keep going? And I just want to be better than myself, than my former self. Because from the thumbnail of this video, you can see that I've been overweight, unhappy, depressed. And now I think about myself and all the things that I've put myself through and challenged myself to do to become better, to leave my job, to work out daily, right? To eat healthy, to become the best version of myself, because I want to become that. And I'm not that version yet, but that gives me motivation and that allows me to be consistent. You're as old as you've ever been and you're as young as you'll ever be. So accept reality. You only have a finite amount of time on this earth, so stop making the same mistakes that you know. Okay, I've talked about going down the wrong path. You know that path. So if you know that path, just realise it and be like, this is going to get me back to nowhere. And I'm going to have to go the same cycle all over again. So that should motivate you to be consistent with it. And in your life, you can either have the pain of change or the pain of regret. Either one is going to be pretty painful. None of this stuff is comfortable. The thing is, humans, we don't like to be hungry if we want to lose weight. We don't like to be tired if we've got to do something which is hard work. We don't like any of these things, but we have to do them if we want to become the version of ourselves that we want to be. Anything in life, anything that you're learning to start with when you want to learn something new is really difficult and you're going to be rubbish at it, but you have to push through that pain and that uncomfortableness to get to sort of the other side. After that is that version of yourself that you want to be. You have to realise, if you haven't already, that it's all about you. It's all about you. You should want the best for yourself. You should want to be the best version of yourself. And if you don't want that, why don't you want that? Why don't you want the best for yourself in your life? Why don't you want the best for your family? I feel like if you realise these things, then you'll get unlimited motivation from that, unlimited consistency, unlimited discipline, okay? Realise that. Love yourself. It all comes down to loving yourself. And I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I look at myself and think, I'm not as good as I can be. But then when I change my mindset, okay, and I start changing my mindset, and then I have to even still do this now, and then you start loving yourself. You think, so proud of myself from where I've been and now to where I am, and the person that I was and now the person that I am becoming. I'm so proud of myself. Let's go, baby. Let's remain consistent. Let's remain motivated. Come on, we can do this. We can do anything I put my mind to. You have to have that mindset. After this video, if I've been successful in giving you a bit of motivation, okay, then you can have a spurt of motivation. So use it. Do something right now that's going to get you to the position that you want to be. And if not, write down your goals, right? What do you want from life? What do you want to achieve? What is the best version of yourself? What does the best version of you look like? What do they think like? What do they feel like? How do they act? What do they do? What choices do they make? How is your best day? What does that look like? And then use that, write it down and look at it. Read it every single day. Because that is where your motivation is going to come from. And that is where your consistency is going to come from. Because you can look at that. You can look at your North Star to have your vision. And you remain consistent to that. Because you know in your heart of hearts that if you don't do what it takes to remain consistent and to take those actions to become that person that you want to become and to have that life that you want to have, then you're going to be back to square one. So there we have it, guys. I hope that you gain some knowledge from this and that you can remain motivated and remain consistent with your goals. End of the day, guys, as I said, it all comes down to you. You have to want it. You have to really, really want it in your life and to accept reality and to accept the pain of change. And that is honestly it. You just have to accept that. So thanks, guys. If you are new around here, please make sure to smash the subscribe button and like the video. And we'll see you next time for another one. Get after it, guys. Enjoy your lives. Have a great day or evening wherever you are. Peace.